What is up, YouTube and Gundam fans? It's your favorite Gunpla builder, Oh My Wings, for another video, and we have the Tallgeese III, but not only the MG and not only P Bandai, but the special coating.
Oh my.
Now, just finishing this kit a few days ago, this was super remarkable, and it is really detailed, and it is a really nice kit. This is actually my first time building a Tallgeese, and I'm already really impressed on how this turned out, and the balance on it, well, not much of the articulation, but I'd say more of the detailed, and just how epic it looks. I'm not even a fan of the Tallgeese, but this definitely changed my mind. Some of the things we're going to be going over today, of course, we're going to be going over the box, the manual, and as well as the decals, and how many runners as well with everything. And plus, of course, the articulation, and just overall what I think about it. So just by looking at the box already, you can tell by the color when it's usually about like one-sided color or just about one or two colors. This usually means it's a P Bandai exclusive, but the cool thing about this is also a limited item. So from what I've known and what I've seen is that when it's a limited item, there's something really special extra on top of being a P Bandai. So as you can see here, you have the special coating. So as you saw earlier, the coloring is really nice, but the problem is, which we'll get to later, but this is a really epic box. I mean, just the cover and the art already in the front is really cool. You're definitely going to be selling something really nice in this kit, and this picture describes exactly when you built the kit. So let's go inside for the manual. Of course, we have the manual here, super epic with all the color and everything, and it's just like in the anime of the Gundam Endless Waltz movies. So we look this up here. We got the whole manual in here, some of the parts, what you're looking for. And this was actually a pretty easy kit. It was a really nice, sturdy kit. Pretty easy to understand, but the problem was with it, it was a little tight. So what I mean by tight is like you kind of have to jam in some of the parts. So that was the only problem with it. But besides that, it's like once you're able to kind of like snap it together, it does feel nice and it feels pretty epic with it. So here are some of the images here, what kind of poses, and here's the colors, and of course with all the water decals and where to put them, all that. But this was pretty self-explanatory. It looked really nice. It was better than I expected for sure. And of course, after finishing the kit and everything, here are some of the parts that are left over with the sabers, as well as the water decals and what can be used for it. So this is how much water decals I basically used. There was a lot, but I try to make it as detailed as possible. Of course, you get the shield from the Tallgeese I, I believe. Some extra parts for the Tallgeese I, some hands and extra parts. So these are all the extra parts you get from the runner and everything. And you also get this special... let me try to grab it. Come on, grab it. My fingers are too tight. So this is, I believe, just a extra parts. So these are the extra parts for the Tallgeese, I believe. So this is for the Tallgeese III exclusively. They give you those multi-colors. I don't really know where these goes, but this is the parts basically to fit on the boosters, I believe. And for the shield. So these are the extra parts, are really cool. So yeah, obviously some of these they kind of snapped off. I don't know why it snapped, but it did. So it was really bad at that part. So that was my fault. But overall, the tail was still there, and it still looks just as good. So as mentioning here again, the articulation overall is pretty decent. I don't think it needs to be too articulated or too bendy, so you can bend the knee all the way back here. The splits you can't really do the splits on this guy unless you're going that way maybe. In terms of turning circles, you can turn it here. But I would be really careful with this, because I think this is one of those kits that you have to kind of be gentle. If you turn things way too much, it could break easily. But you can put the cannons up here. And the tail is still just as nice and colorful. The thing I was mentioning with this special coating, there's a lot of nub marks that you have to deal with it, so definitely be careful when you build a kit like this. There's always nub mark issues. That was the problem with the special coating. But besides that, just by looking at it, it is beautiful. This looks like a really beautiful kit. Like, it's just epic looking, and it just does such a good job. And so we're going to get into the boosters. You can actually place the boosters like that. I believe this goes here. Just a little difficult for a little bit, but you can probably take the boosters like that. There you go. You can open them up, and that's kind of like what it does. So it kind of pushes up, which is really cool. So if you actually just go like this, it pushes really nicely. So Even this detail is a really cool detail. I'm actually really surprised on this part. And even the back right here, this is a really nice detail, and I thought this was really epic as well. And I think you can also boost this up, so let me get this one up here. Ooh, there you go. Okay, so yeah, this is super promising. Even this part, the boosters, can you do the sides too? No, you can't do the sides, but I believe you can also connect the thighs. So if you don't want to connect it, I think you can just pull it out a little bit. You can pull it like that, just in case if you want to get the full experience. So I think this is when you can actually do the split. So let me try to find out, hopefully. So okay, here we go. So if you just take those parts out, you're able to do the splits on it. So there is a splits motion on it. So let's go details on the water decals. Water decals is pretty solid, really nice right here. Some of the decals here, and you can see some of the details. But again, even opening up in all its gimmicks and everything, it's really epic. And I can imagine putting on the posing and everything. It just looks really good. So let's actually take this tail and compare it to the Epion, because I know it's really similar to the Epion. So ideally, I wish I had a Tallgeese to compare it with, but unfortunately, I do not have a Tallgeese. I did order the Tallgeese Fugo, should be coming in probably sometime next year. I actually don't even know when it's coming in, but I have an Epion here, so maybe we can do a little bit of comparisons here with the, of course, with the whip. The whip is pretty much similar, I would say, but I think the one for the Tallgeese III is a lot more tighter. It's not as flimsy as this one. I don't know, because it's the age of the kit. I actually looked at the runners, and the runners is specifically for the Tallgeese for the whip. So that might have been a change, because usually when they use runners, they kind of use like old ones, right? I would expect them to use the Epion, but they don't. They actually use the Tallgeese III exclusively, so which is really nice. So the shields are obviously super different. Now, I like the shoulders on this one, how the shoulders connect with the weapons, so you don't have to worry too much at putting and like relying on the handle, which is why on here I don't really have them holding, because there's no need because of the shoulders. So which is super nice besides that. But yeah, overall, I mean, this Tallgeese III is really good. If you can get yourself one, and I know the Gundam base, or this week or next weekend for the San Diego Comic-Con, Tallgeese III will probably be available for sale. So if you want to pick yourselves one up, I expect you should. You definitely should, because it's a really solid kit. Like I said, if you have the money to spend, it's worth the extra special coating, because it makes this look really epic. So after being the verdict of this awesome kit, and after building it, I really enjoyed this kit. Tallgeese III is definitely a must buy. If I were to give it some wings, I would give it about 4 out of 5 wings. It's just a really awesome kit. The color is nice, the special coating is really cool. The whip is not too loose, which I'm actually really which is probably the best part, because the whip is actually really cool. The boosters have a really cool gimmick, as you can see in the back there. The articulation is perfect. It's not too stiff, but also not too loose, so it's really nice. But overall, great kit. Highly recommend it. So they should be selling for every Comic-Con this year, or anywhere Bluefin or Bandai is available. So you definitely want to check this out. And if not, you can always check it online. This probably has some pricing, probably around the 80 to 100. But I like to say it's definitely worth it. So if you plan on getting this or the Dragon Momoko, I highly recommend this one, because the Dragon Momoko doesn't really look as good. That's from what I've heard from Zakusilius, I believe that's the name. So overall, great kit. And if you like Twitch, we're on Twitch as well. We play Valorant, we build Gundams, and we play PSO2. So if that's something you enjoy, definitely check us out there. If you like this video, like and subscribe, comment below, and see you guys in the next video, and peace.